Hello. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Samir Goyal, and I would like to talk about FDE, Forward Deployment Engineer, a highly talked about, a highly talked, highly viral job role in the market right now. Let me share my screen. It works. Okay. So today we're going to discuss why this role even emerged. So there are some problems with AI era that we're going to discuss. And then we see how we can position the solution and where the FDE sits. What is the mindset of FDE? And in the end, I'll gonna tell you one bonus point. All right, let's begin. So if you're watching this, can you try to guess what are the problems with AI era that we are already seeing? Some of you will say job loss. Some of you will say that we have a lot of AI expenditure. Some of you will say that AI hallucinates, and so many things. And yes, there are so many problems, and every problem creates an opportunity. So let's talk about the problems. For me, it's called shiny object syndrome. Okay, it's called SOS. So I'm trying to explain this easily with a meme here. When AI arrived, every company, every CEO, even every individual would say, yes, we need AI, we need AI, we need AI. And to do what? There was literally not many things people can come up with. There was not really a strategy, and companies adopted AI really fast. What happened when you adopt things really fast without a strategy? It creates problems such as we adopted AI at a very fast pace, but we also see problems such as one with the MIT study, which says 95% of the organization are getting zero return. People are adopting AI in the hype cycle, but they're not really seeing an actual usage, an actual revenue being generated. And you see, these news articles which says AI bubble going to burst or AI spending got too much hyped that we are not seeing any kind of revenue, and this is creating problems in the market, and that is one big cause of AI bubble. So, yes, for me, bubble is real. You can comment what you see if bubble is real or not. But here we're not talking about the fear of AI. We're talking about what opportunity it creates. So let's go to the solution, which is, of course, ROI, of course, return on investment. How one can see return on investment. There is a job title which called forward deployment engineer, and if you see from this image, everybody is betting on forward deployment engineer. If you're seeing it for the first time, I will make it easier. Forward deployment engineer is the one who is actually doing the job, who's actually digging out main issues of the company and solving them. And that's why this job is really popular. Also, because at first place, all these C-suite never knew how to deploy it, or in real terms, they knew how to deploy it as a prototype, as something in sandbox, but nobody knew how to work, how to make it work actually in the production. So you would ask, did this role, why did this role never existed before? 5 years ago, AI was just a research problem. Okay, we were just evolving AI, what AI can do, what AI can do. And when we got to know what AI can do, it can do stuff, but it's not robust. It's not foolproof. And for that, it created a deployment problem. We see from the studies that 70% of the AI pilots fail after launch. And I'm not saying this, it is MIT, Harvard Business Schools studies saying this. And it's not because models are weak. Models are pretty powerful. They can demonstrate value in the sandbox, in the testing environment. But nobody knows what happens after those testing is done, after the demo is done. And that is when the FDE is positioned, where an individual or a group of team of forward deployment engineer goes to the customer side and actually deploy a solution in the production, takes care of all the issues that comes with the production. So now we know how FDE role exists. Let's see the evolution of FDE role. In 2003, a company called Palantir created this role. They understood. They understood. So in 2003, Palantir was founded. In 2010, their CEO created this FDE role, and this FDE role peaked in 2016 a lot because they understood the traditional engineering role is not enough for the production. If we need real ROI, we need engineers to be accountable at the production. And all the immature models, all the models of AI that we deploy, they break, right? We needed somebody there, and that's when FD really spiked. In 2026, you see that there is a lot of companies hiring for FDE. There are a lot of companies even paying immense money, immense salaries to this. So if you are watching this, there's a good opportunity for all of us to understand this role, to see if you can handle this role in production and how to get this role. This is another example of how forward deployment engineers were early spotted by Palantir, and all the other companies were still hiring on levels and other stuff. And then soon, when they realized, this is a recent news, just 3 weeks ago from the day I'm talking right now, Amazon, my company, is investing $1 billion, $1 billion for AI forward deployment engineers. Google has created their hashtag Google FDE. Microsoft is hiring 6,000 FD employees, and it's called as new golden age for AI. Other companies, not to mention eBay and many other companies you will see, are hiring FDEs for that very reason, that they need somebody at the customer side who can really be there when the code fails, who can really be there when the AI fails. So, summarizing, we know what is the main problem with AI era. Now we know what is the solution. The solution is FDE. Let's start with understanding how to solve any problem, how to solve any problem, anyways. All right. So, I would always say start with the mindset, start having the mindset of what FDE is. And anything that we start resolving starts with context. The traditional job roles started with writing a code. This is the code that you need to write, and SDE would write that code. But that's no longer a story. AI can write the code. what, as a person who is responsible for solving the problems, is understanding the context. And if understanding the context rings some bell to you, AI also needs to understand the full context in order to provide some answers. In order to provide the things that you needed, and it has to understand the context. And who would give the context, right context to AI, is this person responsible called FDE. There are many people posting certain uh, infographics such as like this, which is people are building AI first strategy, which is really weak, and which is a data first strategy, which is understanding the pillars of how things are done. It's, I would summarize it as a context that, as an FDE, you talk with stakeholders, you understand what are their pillars, and then build on it. Okay, so who makes AI work in production? It's an FDE, and I've put a side by side comparison of what happens without FDE: AI stuck in pilot, disconnected tools, manual workflows, compliance risk, low ROI, production gaps and hidden. These are some of the common challenges that companies are facing. And when we have an FD who's responsible in production, who's taking care of how seamless integration from one AI to another AI to actual ROI to actual outputs, that is what FDE roles are. They have an automated pipeline to be maintained in the production. They take care of the security and the compliance that comes up with that. And the role is just not there. Once the AI model is doing the job, now it start understanding how we can measure the impact that it has created, and based on that impact, how, if the impact is good or if the impact is bad, it creates a feedback loop, and understand how we can reiterate the same and make the measurable business impact. Okay, so let's summarize everything. We understood that hype created a lot of problems, and that's why we didn't see ROI. Then solution to ROI is a person who understand the context, that's FDE. And to solve any problem, you need to have that mindset, who understand the context, who go deeper into understanding how to resolve the problem by talking to all the stakeholders. Very important are your communication skills. Very important your communication skills along with your coding skills and many other. I'm not discussing the full roadmap of FDE here, but you got the point. I'm talking about why FDE even began. So when you're watching this, understand the new companies, the companies in the future are looking for people who can understand all the context, being at the customer side, deploy, and do a feedback loop if the results are not there. It's more outcome driven than task driven. Okay, so now once we summarize all the three main topics, I'm giving a bonus here, a bonus of how I see the future of work with this one really good meme. Initially, when everybody was saying AI, and the one who would say, yes, we need to see customer needs, is kind of ignored. It's not there. What are you saying? Should we not adopt AI? And now we see companies rehiring employees after seeing the cost of AI getting so much. And then they really need a human communication, a human who can understand the context and everything. So they're rehiring. This is the future. Humanity understanding the context and feeding back to the AI, creating measurable outcomes is the future. Okay, so there is this company called Car24, which is also hiring forward deployment engineer, And they did something really surprising, which they slashed out all the hierarchy in their companies. So there are no CEOs, SEO, C-suite, or senior developers, junior developers. They wiped everything, and for a good reason. When FDs are accountable for measurable outcomes, when teams are becoming with working collaboratively for outcomes, what is the need of hierarchy when everything is outcome based? And I'm not just saying that, it's also many other organizations saying that why would we need managers when individual teams are responsible for outcomes? So AI dissolving organization hierarchies by replacing managers with a real-time intelligence system, a real intelligence system that FDs will be building, reshaping the work, accountability, and also resolving the inequality that we had in workplace for so long. So it's happening for really good. So I would say the future of AI is you, and we will discuss the roadmap of FDE later on in the next live session. Thank you. Goodbye for now, and keep checking this forum about FDE.